Now, the first half of that answer, Uncle B, Blaine Fowler, former BYU quarterback, national champion, everyone's favorite uncle, joining us once again on BYU Sports Nation. Blaine, welcome back to the show.
What's up, Blaine?
Just for the record, if I played right now, I would be fine if they just put me in the shotgun and they just let me throw all the quick routes. Because they run the same offense I used to run. Like, I know the offense. I know the reads.
Okay.
But the first time a defensive lineman got close to me and I had to run, 3 steps in, I would blow out both hamstrings. And not just blow them out, they would fall off the back of my legs and fall to the ground. And they would have to take me off on a cart, and I might never be the same the rest of my life.
Would you say you'd be free falling at that point?
Yes, thank you. Good Tom Petty reference.
Yes.
So,
Why the booze? Why the booze? It's a celebration. What's your favorite Tom Petty song?
did he do Into the Great Wide Open? Is that him?
I think
Someone needs
so.
to confirm that.
Oh, no.
Under the skies of blue.
Sounds like Tom Petty.
Yes, it
A
does.
rebel without a clue. Yeah.
That's the one.
Rip Tom Petty.
Yeah, he's got a lot I love.
With solo album or the Heartbreakers?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer.
No,
Yes.
I love Tom Petty. Like I listened to his music for years and years. I still will, even before he just passed, I would be scrolling through my Apple Music and go, "Oh, I'm listening to a little Tom Petty today."
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Very cool.
Okay, our Twitter question today. Who is your starting quarterback on Friday versus Boise State? Why? What do you think?
I don't know till after practice today. So call me this afternoon. Because here's the deal. And Tanner has to get cleared. And I know, and he threw last week when I was at practice, but he was pretty much a clubfoot last week. They had a huge tape job on him with a brace on there. I think if he's healthy and they go, we can stabilize this thing enough so that he will not re-injure it. So he doesn't have, because I think you got to think about his long term. He has a whole other year left. And I don't think you play him until you're pretty certain that he's not going to re-injure it because of the weakness. Like, you have a chance to get hurt every time you step out on the field, even when you're healthy. But if they go, well, he's at a higher risk to re-injure that right now, then I wouldn't play him. But if they go, you know what, we can brace this thing up so he's not at risk to re-injure that, then he would be my guy. But if he can't, then I really don't know until after practice today. I'm very, very hesitant to play a freshman unless I have to play one, especially one that just got back from a mission this summer. And you can think of, like, even really, really good quarterbacks. I mean, we'll just take you back to John Beck. John Beck is a senior. Everybody remember his junior and senior year. He was a phenomenal player his senior year. One of the best leaders I've ever seen at quarterback here. And he could make every throw, and he knew this offense, and the ball was coming out. When he had to play when he was a freshman, he was awful. And I wasn't sure if we were ever going to get him back from the shell shock he experienced as a freshman out there. Because you can get reps in practice as a freshman, and then you get into a game, and the speed of the game and guys smacking you around, it can have long-term negative effects on a quarterback. So sometimes you have to play one. Fortunately, I think this offensive line is better than the offensive line that John had as a freshman. He was just getting, like, teed off on that year. I thought it took him almost 2 years to recover from that.
Wow.
And so I would not want to play Joe Critchlow if I didn't have to.
What's the breaking point then? Like, is a 70% Tanner Mangum that won't hurt his ankle any further a better option than burning the red shirt and bringing in the freshman Joe Critchlow?
85.
85%.
Okay, if Tanner Mangum is cleared, is there an assumption that he's a certain percentage?
I would think, I think they clear him not based on what his percentage of ability to make all the plays is, because there's going to be plays that are completely out of the offense with his ankle in a brace or taped up heavily. So it's not about, hey, he can do 85. It's about, will we re-injure this thing or not? Does he have a high propensity to re-injure this thing or not? It's about whether they can stabilize that thing enough to take away any more risk than a normal player out there of playing, because he's going to be limited. He's not going to be able to run around like he could before he hurt the ankle for a while probably. And so I say an 85% effective, where he can run 85% of the offense with the experience and the reps and being the guy in the whole offseason is better than throwing a freshman in there. And don't get me wrong, you guys have heard me talk about this since fall camp. Joe Critchlow, I think, is a big-time talent. Like, I watched him in a fall camp. He was the most surprising. Bushman surprised me. I'm like, wow, this guy is really good. Next after Bushman to me was, wow, look at Joe Critchlow.
Really?
This guy is really standing out to me as a guy. And I'm going, and this guy just got off of a mission a couple months ago? He has a chance to be really, really good. Never in my mind did I think, but you know what? They're going to have to play him as a freshman a couple months off of a mission. I want him to have the opportunity to grow in this system the way he should, with opportunity to learn, to redshirt, and then to be able to, when he first gets in there, to have all of the ability to just shine. But if you're desperate and you have to play him, then you have to know we're going to have some growing pains along the way. There's going to be throws that shouldn't be made. There's going to be indecision that shouldn't be there. You're going to have to simplify the offense in a big, big way to make those reads a little bit simpler so you can just let him go be an athlete. He's a pretty athletic kid. He's a big, strong kid. He can make every throw on the field, and he seems to be pretty decisive when he's been out there in practice. Those are the things that impress me. He's got nice pocket presence. He doesn't seem to get rattled when guys are kind of flying around him when they kind of went live in fall camp. So I was really, really impressed with him. But a live game action against a team like Boise State, who's really well coached. I don't know that from a talent perspective they're as good as they've been in past years, but they're always unbelievably well coached.
Yeah.
And they play with confidence. That's a tough task to put a freshman in a game for.
Okay, if Tanner Mangum is the guy, you just put him in the shotgun? And if you want to run a read pass option, you bring in Austin Kofensis and let him do that?
Yeah, you can build a package around him.
Does Kofensis throw the ball? He's a Wildcat guy right now.
He's a Wildcat guy. He's capable of throwing. He threw it in high school. Struggled in the drop back game coming out from under center in fall. He did. But in high school, that's not what he ran. He was in the shotgun, running a read zone and throwing it on the run and having opportunity to. So is he capable of playing if they tailor the offense to that? Kofensis is capable of playing, but he also has no experience. He's in the same position Coy was in last week.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Coy Detmer because the week before that they're going, oh, no, now we got to get Bo ready to play. Because he's been getting reps as the backup. Coy's getting nothing as the third since fall camp, right? So the third just doesn't get reps. Oh, hey, go in and throw one. It doesn't get reps in team and skeleton. And so you're trying, now you've got Bo and you're going, whoa. Normally, we split first and second reps a certain way. If you got a veteran quarterback, you really develop your backup. But when you're just trying to get a guy ready to play, you go, that percentage is going to be a lot higher for Bo and not as many for Coy as a typical backup because we're going to have to roll the dice here, and we're just going to have to assume that Bo can stay healthy for this game. That's what you have to do because if you're getting them both ready, neither's going to be ready, right? So now Coy comes into the game. He hasn't had the reps to be ready to play. So I feel bad for Coy because I think everybody's judging him on, well, he wasn't very good in that game. He threw pick sixes. He looked confused out there. He's like, hey, he hasn't had very many reps in the last several weeks, and he wasn't ready to play. Now, he needed to take care of the football. He needed to be not quite so bold. So I don't know. To me, I go practice today. First thing is Tanner healthy enough to play? If he's healthy enough to play, that's pretty obvious, right? If he's not, then you go, how has Coy performed in practice this week? How has he done compared? It's almost like there's a quarterback competition right now between he and Joe Critchlow to see who shines in practice this week.
Is there? Because I don't hear Coy's name mentioned in any convos from Ty, from Kalani. It's like, so he's just out of the running?
I feel like,
it feels like.
I feel like they know what Coy can do, and he's getting reps. He's getting reps. But I feel like they are thinking back and going, remember how good Critchlow was in fall camp?
Yeah.
He's been overrunning the prep team and shredding the first defense at times. But when you're running the prep offense, they hold a card up and they show everybody what route. So they're like, oh, here, Jeremy, run this route. Oh, and Joe, you throw to this guy. So he's not making reads. And so I might even be able to still do that. You know what I mean? And so it's very different. And I'm not down. And I don't want to downplay in any way, shape, or form Joe's skill set because it's very good. Like, he's impressed me. But I hate to have to play a freshman. If we have to play a freshman, then we have to be patient with him. Then we just have to go, okay, he's going to make mistakes. He's had no reps up until this week. So I hope that Tanner can play. I hope Tanner can play. And if he can't play, they're looking this week, and they're going to go, can Joe make all the reads? How is he and all this? This is what they're evaluating. Can he make it? So they got to get him a bunch of reps to see if he's capable. If they feel like he's equal to Coy in making the reads, well, physically, he's got a cannon on him. He can throw all the throws. So then you go, well, if they're just equal in decision-making, then let's just play the freshman. If they're not, then you have to, who you have to play? You have to play the guy that you feel like is going to take care of the football the best.
Especially after last week, right? That's really sensitive right now, the turnovers.
Rarely can you point to one thing that caused you to lose a football game. Most of the time you go, wow, we were -3 in turnover margin. Then you go back and you go, well, the offensive line didn't play very well. And you know what? We really didn't hold up in the secondary. I've watched this whole game to get ready for after further review.
-6, Blaine.
They played well in every aspect of the game except they turned it over.
Ball security.
Like rarely do I go one thing. -6.
-6
is going to kill you. But they ran the football better than they've run it all year. The offensive line maybe played their best game. The D-line played pretty well. The secondary made only a couple of mistakes in coverage. They physically manhandled Utah State, and the only reason they lost that game was -6 in turnover margin. Rarely can you say that. You know what? They could have been -3 and beat Utah State.
I brought up that same point, and we discussed that, Saturday.
And people get all mad at you. Oh, you just have blue goggles on. That's a fact. They manhandled Utah State. Go look at every statistic. They lost because they turned it over. So the premium this week is what quarterback, if you feel like your defense is good enough to keep you in a game, which I believe they are, if you feel like you should be able to run the football a little against Boise State, if you can carry over what you did against Utah State, and Ula can play well, and you can do some things, if you feel like you can do that, then this decision is who's going to manage the game the best and take care of the football? And whoever that is, if it's not Tanner, is going to be the guy.
With the fumbles, it was interesting because they weren't in the backfield. In fact, Ula Tolutau has 40 carries. He's lost 3 yards total. He doesn't lose yards, right? Squally Canada, 1 yard lost all year. It was down the field when you probably had a nice gain of 5+. So correctable errors and whatnot. And then Boise State, we haven't even talked about Boise State. They are maybe not the same team they've been, but they were up 3 touchdowns on Washington State, who beat USC.
They're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, Blaine.
Well, the thing about them is
Virginia.
They're a little bit young this year. They're a little smaller than they've been up front. I think that Virginia just went and they just beat them up at the line of scrimmage.
Physically dominated.
Just physically beat them up.
Good
at the line of
coaching
scrimmage.
from the Cavaliers.
So I think Bronco and his staff looked at okay, what is Boise State this year? You know what? We have a physical advantage up front. Let's just punish these guys. And they did. Now, rarely does that happen. And if you look at this roster of Boise State, they have had a steady stream of NFL guys every single year. Some of the best playmakers in the league right now are from Boise State. They don't have right now a dynamic NFL running back that you're going, whoa, that guy's a big-time NFL guy.
Yeah, they don't have an Ajayi or McNichols.
They have had some really good defensive linemen. They've got some talent there, but they're not quite what they've had. But here's what they have. This team plays like they're supposed to win every football game. They have unbelievable confidence, and there's something to be said for that. They know they're well coached. They have confidence in their staff, and so they show up every game, and they just expect to win. And when you play like that, you play loose and you play fast. And so Boise State always surprises me how fast they play out on the field. So they'll come in here, they'll think that they're going to win, and they'll play with confidence. And if they can get some turnovers early, then they're going to have a great shot at winning. But this game, to me, physically, BYU should be able to handle the line of scrimmage. And this game, because I think these two teams athletically are very similar to one another, now turnovers become even more important. The team that is plus in turnover margin will likely win this football game.
BYU was +5 and lost last year in this game.
So they were way better. Boise State was way better.
Also, red card to whoever edited in 4th and 19 into that video. Mitch.
Blaine, great stuff. I will see you on the set of After Further Review.
We'll be there. Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the set.
Thank you. The Joe Critchlow of After Further
Yes, you are.
Throw in the freshman. See what he can do.
That's right.
Hopefully I can take care of the ball.
You're a 6th-year senior.
You've had way more reps hosting shows than Joe's had in real games.
That's true.
So I think you're going to be okay.
You've hosted more shows than he's thrown passes.
You're more like somebody coming off the bench as a junior or senior.
Yeah, you're the Christian Stewart.
You're a senior
Okay.
veteran.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Christian Stewart.
Christian Stewart's like, this guy's been here. We have no problem with this guy. He can carry us.
Man, the pressure is mounting.
But Dave was Taysom, so no pressure.
Thanks, Blaine.
All right, guys.